Guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. I apologize for my voice, man. I'm a little bit under the weather. I don't know what's going on, but we're going to push through this video. Guys, listen. News has come out of Jessup, Georgia, where this young man right here, you guys remember him, Noah Bush, age 8, last year. This young man, what time of year was this? May 15th, 2024. This young man right here, at age 8, was drowned to death in a burrow pit out there in Jessup, Georgia, as him and 2 other children, ages 10 and 11, were playing in this construction site atmosphere. Supposedly, an 11-year-old boy and 8-year-old Noah got into an argument, and he pushed him into a barrel pit full of water. Then took and held his head underwater and drowned him on purpose. Now, for a while he was missing, and then truth came out. And the 11-year-old boy, who they never named or showed, pled guilty on all 4 counts, right? And the counts were concealing the death, trespassing, involuntary manslaughter, and the other one was assault. He pled guilty to all 4 counts, and both of these children were locked up in the juvenile justice system for 2 years, which is the maximum according to Georgia law. Well, they were sentenced in August of 2024, right? Now, May, Noah drowned. Do you know these kids are released? Well, one of them is released. One of them. And I'm going to show you this. The justice system don't care about nothing, man. They got these guidelines in place, and they're going to stick to them regardless of how malicious somebody's life taken, no matter how young they are, no matter how vicious something is. Now, I'm going to show you these series of videos, and they're all in order, and they all go along with, you know, the update. And I want you to pay attention to the last one. I want you to pay attention to the one in the middle, especially. And I'll break everything down to you. I'm sorry, I don't feel good. Take a look, guys.
They were sentenced to 2 years confinement back in August. Our Madeline Bierster sat down for an exclusive interview with Noah Bush's mother today. She joins us now live in the studio after the 11-year-old has been released from the custody of the Department of Juvenile Justice. Madeline, what is the very latest on this case? How did this happen?
Well, Dawn, we're learning now less than 7 months into that 2-year sentence, an 11-year-old who was convicted in connection with Noah's death has been released from the Department of Juvenile Justice.
A letter addressed to Noah's mom and Noah, dated February 24th, informing them that the 11-year-old charged in Noah's killing has been released from DJJ after less than 7 months of his sentence.
The blood is on their hands.
Noah's mother says this is a slap in the face to what she calls an already unjust punishment of just 2 years for his death.
Until my last breath, I will always fight for justice for Noah.
It was 186 days to be exact from when those 2 boys were arrested till when this child was released. According to the family, they do believe the 10-year-old was released as well. The DJJ said they cannot confirm or deny that because of juvenile confidentiality. The DJJ also tells me since the 2 boys were sentenced to a 2-year commitment, that can mean in custody in a facility or out in the community.
I was told that they would be gone for at least 2 years. It's been less than a year. My son hasn't been buried an entire year, and his killer is already out just walking the streets, living a normal life as if nothing ever happened.
The Wayne County Sheriff tells me they weren't aware that these 2 kids were released either until one of their deputies saw the 11-year-old at a family member's house.
Wayne County and the state of Georgia truly failed my family. This is not justice. I feel like more time should have been given to these juveniles, and I do believe that at least one of the 2 will most definitely reoffend.
I reached out to the Wayne County School Superintendent to ask if these 2 boys would be allowed back into the school system. Superintendent Tony Williams told me, quote, "We follow state law." I asked several follow-up questions and was still told the same answer repeatedly. We follow state law. The laws we have to educate students.
I am in fear for other people's children if they are released back into the school system. I know there are a lot of other parents that are outraged and they're worried because you have to think about it. This is a murderer that's going to be sitting in the desk next to your child or on the bus with your child.
The 11-year-old was released all while a restitution hearing for Noah's family is still set for this Thursday. A school board meeting just began at 6 o'clock and Noah's family, along with many supporters, are expected to show up and demand answers as to if these two boys will be sitting next to their children in the coming days. Reporting live in studio, Madeline Bierster, WTOC News.
Coverage now. We have an update on the Noah Bush case we've been following for months now. One of the juveniles involved in his death has been banned from attending Wayne County Public Schools and will be under court supervision until he is 21. WSCV's Christine Coaley is joining us now to break down the details.
So Tina, today's hearing was closed because there are minors involved, but I met with Noah Bush's family and their attorneys outside the courthouse right after, and they told me that while this restitution hearing was the final chapter in the legal proceedings of this case, they're still seeking more justice.
A long 10 months full of pain and uncertainty, finally coming to a close at the Wayne County Courthouse Thursday.
Very emotional. I was truthfully losing all faith in humanity, but the judge today, he gave me some of that back.
Demetrius Fuller lost her son Noah back in May of 2024. When he was found dead in a burrow pit. At first, the Wayne County Sheriff's Office ruled his death an accidental drowning, but Fuller and others in the community insisted there was more to the story.
The system failed Noah Bush. And I think we all have to acknowledge that when an 8-year-old's life is taken by a 10 and 11-year-old, that there is a failure of society.
In August, the 10-year-old was sentenced for concealing a death. The 11-year-old pled guilty to manslaughter for pushing Noah into the burrow pit and holding his head underwater. They were sentenced to 2 years of confinement, but got out this month, more than a year early.
Fuller has heard, really for one of the first times, from someone wearing the judicial robe, that not only was the heinous act committed by the juvenile here in court today wrong, but that juvenile should be held accountable to it.
A judge ruled that the 11-year-old cannot attend Wayne County Public Schools, but also required him to pay restitution to the Bush family by working when he is able.
And the fact that he won't be in public school with other kids means more to me than any kind of money. There's no amount of money that could ever replace my son's life.
Family attorneys say that now that their next step is going to be making sure the burrow pit where Noah drowned is no longer a hazard in the community and making sure any adults who may have been involved in the circumstances surrounding Noah's death are also held accountable. Christine Coaley, WSAV News 3 on your side.
Andy Cole is in Jessup with what this a judge in Wayne County ordering the supervision for the convicted juvenile killer of Noah Bush. The 8-year-old was drowned to death by 2 other boys last summer. WJCL 22 News' Andy Cole is in Jessup with what this family had to say after the ruling.
Attorneys for the Bush family say today was the first positive day in a long time for Demetrius Fuller, the mother of Noah Bush. The judge sided with them, agreeing that Noah's killer should be supervised until the age of 21. Back in May 2024, Noah Bush was found dead. More than 50 days later, despite investigators claiming there was no foul play, deputies arrested 2 juveniles and an adult in connection with the murder. The boys were sentenced to 2 years behind bars, the maximum allowed under Georgia law. But this week, after just 7 months in juvenile detention, one of Noah's killers was released by the Department of Juvenile Justice. That's why Judge Tracy Brown held the Thursday hearing to determine restitution for the Bush family. It was a closed hearing, so we weren't allowed in. But attorneys for the family say the judge took the extraordinary step of speaking directly to Ms. Fuller, saying he'll be praying for her until his last dying breath.
It made my heart feel good. The first person to ever truly acknowledge what was done to my baby and to just say I'm sorry that it happened and to be praying for me. It's a feeling that I've needed to feel this entire time.
The judge also ordered that one of Noah's killers must pay the Bush family $15,000. He also barred them from attending public school here in Wayne County. In Jessup, I'm Andy Cole, WJCL 22 News.
That's the news. And I'm going to begin by saying this. I give respect to Miss Fuller, Noah Bush's mother. She handled this with respect and dignity. She had a sense of class about herself. She could have got on TV and said anything she wanted to say, acted a fool and all this stuff, but she held the composure in times of darkness. Ma'am, I salute you. That's respect. You know what I'm saying? And I know she's hurting, and it ain't going to bring her son back, but she seemed like she was pleased with the verdict of what was said after the restitution hearing. So, I mean, I have nothing to say about that, but I will say this, man. Justice system's trash. It is. And all states are different with the way they handle things, but it's one thing that's always in common, no matter what state you live in. A lot of people out here that commit crimes and do vicious stuff, and it's like they get slaps on the wrist. These kids like she said, her son wasn't even dead, what, 8 months? And they're out already? What was the sense of even doing that? And the thing that's crazy about this, these videos that I just showed you combined got about 300 views. So a lot of people don't even know about this story. That's why when I seen them, like, I got to do this to get it pushed out there, because this is not right. It's not. An 8-year-old boy is dead. Hell, my little girl is 9. If something like that happened to her, I would be at my wit's end, because the value that she brings to my life and how I feel about it, like anybody else feels about their child, it's no way I could let that fly. Now, I'm not saying I would run out there and kill a kid, but this is bad. It's bad. And it seems like a lot of people just go right up like water under the bridge. Like, I mean, every case is different and they need to be looked at as such. Now, I'm going to show you something. If you paid attention, right? This is the thing a lot of people didn't know. You'll hear people say both the killers was released. They wasn't. Remember, the 10-year-old boy went along with the story and lied. All he did is lie. He's the one they released. He didn't touch Noah. He just sat there while the older boy and the younger boy was fighting. You know what I'm saying? And then he lied about it like, he is he went along with the story. You know what I'm saying? They released him. But the 11-year-old is the one that's still locked up and ordered to pay restitution, though both of them can't go to county schools. Now, in my opinion, if the full extent of the law is to lock them up for 2 years, it shouldn't have been no break for the 10-year-old. They both should have been locked up. You know what I mean? If that was the original charge, shouldn't have been no break. Now, I'm more than sure this 11-year-old is not going to do the full 2 years needed. They're going to let him do, because remember, he already settled the restitution. Now, he's ordered to pay $15,000 once he's able to work. So what's that, the age 16, 15, 16? $15,000 he's ordered. And that's if he gets a job. See what I'm saying? You can't make a kid work. So, I mean, this makes sense, but then again, it doesn't. Then the mother said, I'm more than sure one of them will come back out and do the same thing. She got to be talking about the 11-year-old. Got to be talking about the 11-year-old. But either way, man, this is a sad story. It's a slap in the face of these people. And they sat up there and smiled and was at the mercy of the justice system. They don't give a damn about giving real justice to anybody. They don't. They just look at it like, okay, according to the guidelines, our hands are tied. This is what we got to do. And next thing you know, you don't know who to blame. Your head's spinning. You caught up in the whirlwind. Then you get out of there like, what the hell just happened? It shouldn't be like that. Victims of families that die, of family members that are victims of violent crime should have some type of peace with themselves. That's why I say it's never real healing when you have a void of loss in your heart, when you're dealing with the justice system and strangers that's going to sit up there and say, yo, we feel your pain, but they give a punishment out for something that doesn't affect them. How do we fix this? I don't know, but I know it's not right. It ain't right. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. May Noah Bush rest in peace. Prayers and condolences to the family. And Miss Fuller, like I said, I salute you. Respect.